Coming up on WMLT News, Concord has big news in the broadcast and journalism department concerning the on-campus radio station.
Plus more about the Parkersburg dilemma and how members of the wrestling team there are speaking out. All this and more starts right now.
Hello and welcome to WMLT News. I'm Jared Klein.
And I'm Rachel Dotson. David Perney of Bluefield, West Virginia faces a possible 20-year sentence in prison after pleading guilty to possession of child pornography. Earlier last year, he admitted that he had pictures of preteen minors engaging in sexual acts, which were found on his personal computers. His trial took place last Tuesday, and his official sentencing has been scheduled for early September of this year. With this case, U.S. Attorney Goodwin is furthering his invaded fight against sexual exploitation of children in West Virginia.
Wood County officials say that a controversial Bible verse written in a school gym is being painted over. The verse from Philippians has also been worn on the Parkersburg South High School wrestling shirts since the 1990s. The verse has been removed from both the shirts and the athletic site. The school recently came under fire from the Freedom from Religion Foundation based out of Wisconsin for the visible references to religion. The organization made no threat towards the school but did cite the Supreme Court case to back their argument. Concord University has a new president. The West Virginia Higher Education Policy Commission has officially approved the selection of Dr. Kendra Boggess as president of Concord University effective July 1st, 2014. This action was taken at a meeting on April 25th in Fairmont, West Virginia. Concord University Board of Governors, or BOG, selected Dr. Boggess as the university's president during a meeting on the Athens campus on Tuesday, April 22nd. The selection was final once it was approved by the commission. Dr. Boggess is currently serving as Concord's interim president. She has served that position since July 1st of last year. She was also one of the 3 finalists for presidency of the university during the nationwide search.
University campus has been a busy place in the recent weeks. Reporting for the Concord Minute this week is Dalton Paul.
Thanks, guys. This has been a busy week in Concord University news. From the CU Color Run to the election of Concord University's first female president, Kendra Boggess. Tuesday morning also brought about some big news for Concord's student-run radio station, WVCU. A press conference was held in the Ray Hall building where the West Virginia Broadcasters Association presented WVCU with a $7,000 check. The money will be used in acquiring new equipment so the station can broadcast on FM radio. Speakers included Professor Jessica Lilly Doty, who thanked WVCU's supporting underwriters for their commitment, and our very own Jared Klein, who currently holds the position of news director for the radio station. Both described how the switch to FM would help WVCU stay in touch with not just Concord University, but with the Princeton-Athens community. With the semester winding down, there are a lot of events taking place in the next 2 weeks. The 24th annual Roth Memorial 5K Run will take place Tuesday, May 6th. The registration fee is $10 for students and $20 for others. Registration fees will be donated to the David S. Roth Memorial Scholarship Fund. David S. Roth was a professor of English and journalism from 1969 until his death in 1986. Recently, the proceeds from the race have made it possible to increase the amount of the scholarship from $500 to $1,000 per academic year. Finally, the Spring 2014 Senior Dinner will be held Wednesday, May 7th at 6 in the Student Center Ballroom, and the annual Fine Arts Banquet will be Friday, May 9th at 6:30 at Pipestem Resort. Well, that does it for the last CU Minute of the semester and my last time for WMLT. Back to you guys at the desk.
Last Monday, a huge tornado ripped through central Arkansas, killing at least 14 people and injuring over 100 others. The tornado touched down in Little Rock, Arkansas, and continued eastward, causing massive amount of damage to vehicles and buildings along its path. It also left over 10,000 Arkansas residents without power. Rescue teams are currently at work clearing debris and freeing people caught underneath. As of last Tuesday, a tornado warning was still in effect for Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, as the storm system continues to move towards the East Coast.
A teenager charged with a fatal stabbing of another student told police after the attack, quote, "I did it, just arrest me." The defendant, 16-year-old Christopher Plaxon, is being charged as an adult with the murder of Maureen Sanchez, a classmate at Jonathan Law High School in Milford, Connecticut. Plaskin attacked Sanchez in the hallway of the high school Friday, April 25th. just hours before the junior prom. Police are still investigating whether the attack was the result of Sanchez's refusal to be Plaskin's junior prom date. Plaskin is being held at a medical facility where, according to his attorney, he's undergoing psychiatric evaluation. Plaskin will be arraigned in adult court pending his transfer from the psychiatric facility. Stay tuned, there will be more WMLT news after this break.
Welcome back. This past weekend, Concord University Athletics held a fundraiser in order to make some much-needed renovations to one of the facilities. Austin Best has more on this event.
Concord University track and field athletes, as well as members of the Recreation and Tourism program, hosted the first See You in Color Run this past weekend. The purpose of having this 1-mile race that has become popular across the country was to raise funds in order to resurface the track. Concord University has not held a home track meet in over 4 years due to poor conditions of the track. Bradley Click and Adam Gelios, who both participated in the race, explained why it was worth their hard-earned money. Through the past month, the event was advertised to students, teachers, and even people in the nearby community. Early admission fees were $15 and admission fees for the morning of the event were $20. Every participant was given a free Color Run t-shirt and number. The event raised $4,500 to put towards resurfacing the track. Over 250 came out to support the race, some of which weren't students at the university. Former Marine Evan Burnop elaborated on why he enjoyed the race. The original goal they were hoping to see run in the event was around 150 participants, which was exceeded by over 100 runners. Although the event raised a good chunk of change to put towards the resurface, it will cost around $300,000 to complete the project. For WMLT News, I'm Austin Best in Athens.
Now with sports, here's Brady Meadows.
The last couple of weeks in the NBA have been very busy. The playoffs are in full swing. In the East, the Heat just swept the Bobcats 4-0. The Bobcats are the first team to be eliminated this postseason. The Indiana Pacers are actually down to the Atlanta Hawks 3-1, and the Washington Wizards are leading the Chicago Bulls 3-1, while the Raptors and the Nets are tied at 2 games apiece. Ties seem to be the trend in the West. The Spurs and the Mavericks are tied at 2 games, the Clippers and the Warriors are tied at 2 games, and the Thunder and the Grizzlies are also tied at 2 games. The Trailblazers are leading the Rockets 3-1. In addition to the playoffs, there's also been a lot of controversy in the NBA concerning Clippers owner Donald Sterling. Sterling allegedly made racist remarks while in an argument with his girlfriend, who is ironically black and Hispanic. Sterling was recorded saying that he does not want black people at his games. This has obviously sparked a lot of controversy within the Clippers organization and offended a great many people. The new commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, announced earlier today that Sterling will be banned from the league for life because of his comments. Silver also fined Sterling $2.5 million. Also in the NBA, Pacers star forward Paul George had his house broken into while he was playing in Game 5 against the Atlanta Hawks. The thieves stole jewelry, including an all-star ring that is estimated to be worth $15,000. That's all for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Egypt sentenced 683 people to death in a mass trial on Monday in Minya, Egypt. The mass conviction stemmed from last year's violence after the ousting of the Egyptian president. The court session from which the mass death sentence came lasted only 8 minutes, and while most of the verdicts are not final and will most likely be overturned on appeal, those who do not turn themselves in to the Egyptian government are less likely to see leniency. All but 63 of the convicted were tried without an actual being at the courthouse and stand convicted until they turn themselves in. The South Korean president apologized Tuesday to the government's slow initial response to the ferry disaster that claimed the lives of over 200 South Korean citizens. The ferry tipped over on April 20th, carrying many high school students as passengers on a school trip. The captain and several of the crew of the ferry are currently under arrest for the tragedy. The death toll currently stands at 205, and 97 of the passengers are still missing.
2 softball players from the Florida Southern College proved on April 26 that winning is not everything and that it really is all how you play the game. Kara Oberra of Eckerd College would have probably been ruled out after her knee gave out on her when she hit a home run and made it to first base. But the 2 FCC players, Chelsea Oglieve and Leah Pemberton, each wrapped an arm around the Oberra and walked her to each base, lowering her to ensure she made contact with each one and then home for her home run. FSC went on to win that game. As warm temperatures arrive, some of the state's wildlife will be more easy to find. While they are maybe fun to observe, the Division of Natural Resources has sent out a warning to residents not to feed bears. Colin Carpenter says that the key to avoiding human and bear conflicts is to remove food attractants rather than feed them. Capturing and moving bears is often costly and ineffective, so wildlife officials are often faced with the task of putting them down. The bear population of West Virginia has increased over the last 20 years, and wildlife officials fear they are running out of places to inhabit.
Now with Take It or Leave It, here's Jesse Stevens.
Thanks, guys. Earlier this March, the DreamWorks animation film Mr. Peabody and Sherman came into theaters. This is the movie adaptation of the classic cartoon series that aired throughout the 1950s and 60s. Mr. Peabody is the most accomplished dog in the world and the adopted father of a mischievous boy named Sherman. The duo spends their days traveling through time in Mr. Peabody's time machine called the Wayback. But when Sherman takes the machine out for a joyride to impress his friend Penny, things spin out of control. And when the group accidentally rips a hole in the universe, Sherman has to step up and save the day before they forever alter the past, present, and future. Overall, Mr. Peabody and Sherman is an incredibly funny movie, with stellar performances from Ariel Winter as Penny, Ty Burrell as Mr. Peabody, and Max Charles as Sherman. This film is a must-see. Mr. Peabody and Sherman scores 4 out of 5. The hilarious, clever writing will have you rolling on the floor, and the heartfelt moral reminds us of the importance of sticking up for our friends and family. And that's it for Take It or Leave It for this week and this semester. We'll see you again in the fall. Thanks for watching.
The West Virginia School Building Authority recently awarded more than $43 million to begin construction projects in 7 counties. These grants were approved on Monday, March 28th, and will include more than $12 million for a new elementary school in Gilmer County. Mingo, Monongalia, and Wayne counties have also received $8 million each for various school projects. Wayne County's grant is contingent on voters approving a bond. If this bond is approved on May 13th, the county will be awarded a second grant next year that will total $10 million. These funds will be used to rebuild 2 Wayne County pre-K and elementary schools, as well as renovate Wayne County High School.
That's it for WMET News this week. I'm Rachel Dodson.
And I'm Jared Klein. See you again this fall.